Thank you, Teach. Great to see the participation taking place. You always wonder if it's going to be a success or a topic that will be popular. And well done to you, Teach. Great hosting and presentation. And we'll be moving on to the next section, which is our spotlight. And Teach, you're still the man on this. So you can get us started. I think this one will be an interesting topic, especially in the new world that we live in that has got COVID-19. So over to you, Teach, and well done to everyone for participation. Let's keep it up.
Back again. So our next session is a spotlight. We are going to be discussing about working safely despite COVID-19. That is ESH, environmental safety and health in the new world of homework. So it's been a year since the emergence of COVID-19, which has seen our lives changing in everything we do, our day-to-day things. Some of the things which have changed, people have shifted from shopping publicly and also to online shopping. Some of us are also now traveling online. Okay, others are now doing their work online. So the most thing that have changed, people have shifted from working in their offices to working at home. So that being the case, it has been the expectation that when you're working at home, these are the things you have: a cup of coffee, you will be comfortable with everything good around you. But is that exactly the case? So I will show you what is really happening, or what really happens when someone is working at home. These are some of the things that you come across. Your kids will be on you as you'll be trying to work. These are some of the incidents. As you can see, there's a guy there tripping on a toy. We can have incidents like electrical shock while trying to plugging in your computers. There are some issues to do with ergonomics. It's not like always your home, you have an office. Some people don't have such things, so you have to find comfort where you can work good. You can see there's a guy who is saying, whenever I work from home, they will be in the toilet. So those are some of the issues that people are facing at home. So in as much as we want productivity to be at home, safety will always be a priority. So as managers, as employers, as chief practitioners, how do you see this working at home thing being done, and how best can we improve it so that people will be safe as they are at work? How would they be safe at home? So I'll leave this one to you guys. We need to discuss on this topic. How can we improve safety, integrate the safety standards we use at work so that they may apply at home? It's to you guys. Let's discuss on this one. I guess I have introduced what we want to discuss and everyone has understood. So I'll give this time to the audience to discuss. Yes, hello, Mr. Ranga.
Yes, Tish, thank you for the opportunity to speak. One of the duties of a safety practitioner is to ensure zero harm. So to add on to your question, I would like to challenge those in practice, those safety practitioners, that how can we ensure there's zero harm? On the bottom left picture on the current slide, you can see a person suffering from electrical shock. Being a victim myself, a survivor, I would love to understand what can we do to prevent such incidents, a person getting shocked from home while doing our work. What have we done? It's been a year, it's been over a year in this pandemic, and we kind of do not see the light at the end of the tunnel. So as we are going to continue working from home, what can we do as safety practitioners to ensure that your employees are safe while they are working from home? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ranga. Thank you, Mr. Ranga. So any takers on that? He's asking what should we do as employers, chief practitioners to ensure that SafeIt as it is at work is now being applied at home, since safety is our priority whenever we're working. Guys, any takers on that one? Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
It's Marwa again.
Mhm.
I really believe people generally they have a tendency of believing that their homes are safe all the time, because we always think we're at risk, especially when we're at work. But we've got this assumption that when we're at home, we are safe. But it's not necessarily so, because not always all the time that you're home, you're working. Now we are usually on the computer, maybe for a few hours. But if you're working from home, you probably spend most of your time on your computer, you see. And a lot of risk exposures are there, mostly psychological ones, mostly which are related to concentration, stress levels. Children might be disturbing you. There are other psychological factors that might influence your concentration and also your focus when you're at home. So I think as chief practitioners, we should encourage people that are at home to also practice the normal training that we usually do at work, to conduct ourselves how we usually conduct ourselves when we're at work. The attention to detail that we conduct when we're at work, we should also practice that at home. And also understand the fact that this home is not necessarily safe each and every time, because the work setting that you're in or the setting that you're in when you're working from home is different from just being at home. You're actually working, you see, and your attention span, your concentration, whatever you're doing, and the risks that are there, they're also higher because you're not just at home, you are working there. So people should also pay attention and also try to practice those safety guards that they practice at work whilst they're at home, and also understand that there are greater psychological influences and also greater disturbances when you're at home that might affect your concentration and your focus and even your stress levels. And we all know when you're stressed, you tend to focus less and putting you at risk as well. So people should just try to practice what they practice at work whilst they're at home. And also as chief practitioners, we should also try to make sure that our workers at home are well resourced. They've got well insulated cables, well insulated internet connections, electrical connections. We should always try to provide as much as we can for them to be safe, rather than for them to improvise. And also in such cases whereby someone does not have workspace at home, I think it will be prudent for us as an organization to provide some form of a workplace at the office for those specific people that don't need or that don't have space at home to do their work.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Marowa. I can see which it's gone. That was a great contribution. He's saying at home is not as safe as we thought, as we think. So it's best we practice the safety measures that we use at work. We should also implement them at home. I guess everyone has heard that. I can see Simon Makambaya. Your mic is on. You have something?
Thank you so much.
Yes,
my name is Simon Makamba. I work for NASA. I think this is a very good topic in terms of safety and health for people working at home. I think one of the problems, I just want to identify one problem. When you're at home, when you wake up from your bed, you move maybe about 10 paces and you're in your office. So one of the problems is the lack of exercise. There will be circulatory problems because people are now practicing a sedentary lifestyle. Most of the time, as has been said before, you are on your laptop and you are not moving around. So your blood circulation will be very poor. Also, when you're at home, the availability of food is much higher. You can demand food at any time you want. So you actually are getting a lot of food and also very little exercise. When you go to work, you do a lot of exercise. You're moving up and down. You are going to either you drive your car or you are going to the combis. That will make your blood move. So I think problems of high blood pressure and the associated risks in terms of blood circulation. I think those have to be addressed. And maybe some circular or WhatsApp remind people to exercise whilst they're working from home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Makambaya. I guess everyone has heard that, despite the few glitches that we're having. But his main point was there's an issue of not exercising. You're always sitting at your laptop, just eating food. It's another issue that is of concern to us as SHE practitioners. And also, we must promote exercises whenever people are working at home, so that they will not suffer any chronic diseases that are associated with lack of exercises. I can see Mr. Pika, your mic is on. Do you have anything for us on this discussion?
Yes, thank you so much. I think the subject of safety while it's working at home is broad-based and shouldn't be limited to the current period right now, when we are currently in a pandemic. Because if you look at it, hazards have always existed at our homes, and that also has a bearing at our safety within our workplaces. It is also determined a lot by the level, but it is also determined a lot by the level an organization is, as far as safety culture is concerned, and also the individual risk perception, which is basically the trainings that we have done with the employees as far as hazard identification and also risk assessment is concerned. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Pikai. So that's what you have. You say it goes beyond this period. Of course, we have this lockdown, but this is what the world is moving on to. The world is going digital, so we will see more of those online working remotely. So is there anyone also? There was Mr. Words there. There was Wendy with your mic on. I guess. Oh, there was Gwenzi. Sorry. There was Gwenzi with your mic on. I guess you wanted to say something. Okay. So guys, these are some of the things we are facing.
Okay.
Tatenda, yes.
Okay, yeah, I had my hand up. I think I also lost the connection.
Okay.
I think the issue here on the spotlight, which is actually speaking to working at home, is quite a number of issues. One thing for sure is because of ego, naturally, no one would want to demonstrate their workplace or to be very, very open that their homes are not safe, like the previous speaker is said. It's natural that I do not want those around me, especially those that are at the workplace, really to know certain deficiencies. Remember, the reason why we are working from home, not because at the workplace there are electrical safety problems, or there are a lot of tripping hazard problems or any other issues, but it is because of the pandemic, which is set a new norm. The major characteristics of the pandemic being that it is highly contagious and would want social distancing. The reason why we do not want it to be at work, it is because we are trying to decongest the workplace. But now getting home, the reality, ladies and gentlemen, is that a lot of people now, when we are decongesting the workplace, in other words, during the day when the father, the mother, or another person who is above 18 who usually goes to work, in normal circles would say we are decongesting the home as well. So when you are decongesting the workplace, you are actually recongesting the home. So it becomes also something that we really need to look at, and when the leaders of the organizations are actually saying they are committed to health and safety, they are actually recongesting the home place. And if you look at the homes now, let's take an average person who is living in the ghetto there. I think the average size, the room size is basically a 3 meters by 3 meters. Let's talk about its congestion in terms of property. Then let's talk about the average family size. That is probably three. Then the parents, two of them. The elder son or daughter has come. The mother is working at home. The father is working at home. They are all in a 3 by 3, probably times 2 rooms or times 3 rooms, well packed with certain properties. So it then means the floor space is actually going to be very, very minimal for the work if you were to equate it to the floor space that is required for a person worker. So while we will try to make sure that electrical safety is okay, some of the other things are okay, but I think issues of space becomes very, very important. And sometimes it is a bit difficult for us to do a lot about it. Issues of also wanting then to institute some decongestion home, it is also very difficult. We have to live in congestion working at home, but they tolerate each other because they know they are a family. So it means we need to then come up with other means or other resources such as the sanitization facilities, the education about it, issues of masking up, at least to make sure that they will try and reduce the risk while they are congested, because for sure decongesting homes is very difficult due to the limitations of space and due to the general tolerance people actually will have. And obviously, even if people will try to be open, but we need to understand that the average person won't be as open enough because the home issues are a bit confidential and they are not always smart when it comes to those issues. So I think there's also these days there's an ISO 45005 of 2020 standard that talks about working safely in the during a pandemic, in particular COVID-19, that has been published last year. It is actually it has a certain requirements for working safe at home, and particularly if you open clause 4.42 of it, it spells out what organizations can actually do to try and improve safety and health while people are working at home during the pandemic. But the first option, obviously, like the previous speaker, I think the way Mr. Maro has said, is considering cases where those who can declare safely that their homes are not safe. Those who open up should be afforded the opportunity actually to come to work at the workplace. But without wanting to go with a list and saying shouting a Bible here, I think if we grab ISO 45005 of 2020, go to clause 4.42, we can get good tips that will help us on that. Thank you very much.
That was interesting, Mr. Nyenda. I guess everyone has been educated. I don't think everyone was aware about that ISO 45005. So now, as a ship practitioner, you have to go and look it up and see is everything that is declared or that is in that system, is it being practiced at home? Thank you, Mr. Nyenda. Thank you for that one. Lorraine, I can see your mic is on. Do you have something? Okay, she's off. Okay, yes, Taurai, yeah, you can say something. Taurai, yeah.
Thank you so much. I believe in this pandemic we are in. When you are working from home, I think the first thing that we need to consider as is time management. The environment we are working in is part of us, and we are part of that environment. So the moment we don't take that seriously, everything else we do will trigger a number of issues that makes the whole environment hard for us and for the family at large. So we need to, yes, we agree we have to work from home, but there should be time management, accommodate one another, and synchronize events that are taking place at home so that we remain as an environment. So that's my major point on working from home. And secondly, we are SHE practitioners. We are only not encouraged by this pandemic to be safe even at home, but it should be a culture that reflects who we are at home and at work. So with this pandemic on us, I think it would have been given an opportunity to readdress or address the other things that we were missing besides all our efforts. So it's an issue of polishing now in this pandemic, but unless otherwise we don't reflect what we do at work, at home, then we have got a big problem to solve all this in a 1 year period of time. So when we are at home as a SHE practitioner, you influence community, the society, your family, also to take an example from you. For example, when you see things wrong at home, the easiest way that you would do to pick that thing, place it in the right place, communicate, and if the family adopts such an issue, a practice, then the home becomes the best place. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Taurai. Thank you for that one. You're saying we should do what we do at work, we should do it at home and lead by example. That will make our homes a safe workplace for us. Mr. Fungai Mpunga, I can see your hand is up.
Yes, thank you, Teach. Great contributions by everyone. Really interesting points that are being raised, from time management to decongesting the workplace and congesting the home. Obviously, for some, they have children and there are a whole lot of other things in the home. So, but I want to pause this. So let's look at a scenario that someone has got their work laptop, they connect it to the plug, and then there's a short or there's over current that take place. Hello, can you guys still hear me? Okay, so let's look at a scenario where someone connects their laptop at home and then there's overcurrent that comes through and the laptop gets damaged. Now, broadening that, if an incident occurs at home and someone calls in and reports that something has happened here, is that considered a workplace safety incident? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mpunga, for that one. He's saying there's an incident at home. You are working at home, you're following your timetable, your work timetable, and you are involved in an accident. How is that handled? I'll give it to SHE practitioners, managers. How we will deal with that? Mr. Nyenda.
It's a tricky situation, Fungai. Teach. It's a very tricky situation, but I will try to answer it using.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Tatenda. I think there is a technical glitch here. Yeah, it's back. Hello, Mr. Tatenda is trying to respond, but I think something is happening at his end.
Important in helping us to manage this are not there. It all goes about how we define a workplace. If you go the international standards, the ISO standards on occupational health and safety, for example, your previously your ISO 45001 of 2018, then probably going to a national standard, the British standard one, which was popularly adopted worldwide, the OSHA's 18001, you find that a workplace is any physical location where a person has to go or to be for the purposes of work. And it includes any arrangements, whether you are working at another premises, whether you are working, whether you are in transit or so. But the key question is where you have to be or where you need to go for the purposes of work. Now, the organization in trying to, in their open declaration that this is their mitigation measure to COVID, they are saying we are sanctioning work at home, which means the payroll is running and they know you are working at home. So your home becomes a physical location where you need to go and where you need to be for the purposes of work. And sometimes you are actually, an accident will actually happen when you are actually in a Zoom meeting with your top managers. You are actually at work. So there needs to be a paradigm shift, especially with respect to how we define workplace. We know our legislation is not very spot on when it comes to the definition of a workplace. I am glad NASA is here. We know standards, they try by all means to do that, but they may also have some limitations. But the ISO 45005 standard that I also talked about tries to rope in homes as the workplace. But even outside it, if you interpret it without that standard, where you need to be and where you are for the purposes of work, and it is known that you are working under the control of the organization, it becomes a workplace. So I would expect, notwithstanding the fact that as a home, you as a household, you must also have your emergency preparedness and incident management and so forth. Yeah, the organization must be also told if it can do something, that's fine. But also as practitioners, we must not just put all of our eggs in one basket. We need also to ensure that we also have our own plans for emergency preparedness, such as the communication with neighbors, such as always keeping numbers for emergency response teams, the ambulances, such as making sure that obviously we also have certain resources that will also help us to do that. But at the same time, organizations must also build capacity in their workers at home, at least to respond to emergencies. When they are called, they must also come in. If you ask me, even if it then calls even for you to come and doing some electrical inspections like Fungai has been asking, it is fine for me. Anticipating the risk that is associated today is part of risk assessment. You are trying to uncover the extent to which the home is safe or it is prone or vulnerable to emergencies, so that you also prepare in your offsite, while you are offsite, how you are supposed to probably also support those who are working at home in responding to emergencies. So it all goes about redefining or our understanding of workplace, where the legislation is limited, but the international standards to which we adopt and we superintend over as practitioners, they try by all means to be explicit on that. And it depends on how we actually interpret it correctly. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nyenda. Thank you for that contribution. So I guess everyone has heard him. He's saying this will be an incident. This incident needs to be managed with the company, since you'll be working as home as defined by the legislation. They say whenever every location you are working at will become a workplace. So that was his contribution. Is there anyone with another comment or with a different view? There is Humphrey. Kanukamwe, you can come up, sir.
Thank you so much, Chair. Greetings to everyone.
How are you?
I'm good, sir. I think we also need to consider having policies at work. As we develop COVID-19 workplace policies, we also need to consider working from home, how people should report incidents that occur at home, how investigations are supposed to be done, how corrective measures are supposed to be implemented. Because we have a lot of incidents that are occurring while people are working at home, but because there is no communication, no education was done, I think as practitioners, we need to improve on that, educate our employees that if an accident occurs at home, while in the course of doing work, as explained by the previous presenter, that is still work because you are doing, it's part of the job. So we need to come up with policies and procedures, and they have to be known by everyone in the organization. Say it's a she policy. It has to include those issues. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Kankamwe. So I've realized on my research, as I was researching about these COVID-19 policies, so I've noticed that most companies, their most issue was about hygiene, social distance, and other things. They were not factoring these issues of working at home. That's when we come up with this topic. As you can see at our bottom right corner, there's that guy with a lot of sanitizers. Those are some of the things that we need to factor in our policies. As we will be working at home, of course, it's your home. But would that be fine to do when you are working at home? So thank you, guys. So it was a great discussion. So we are wrapping it up for our next session, the main thing for the day. And as of now, I'm now handing it over to Fungai Mupunga so that he can give us the main topic of the day. Thank you for everything. I'm out.
Okay, hello. I can open the back.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes,
can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. No, I think this has been a great discussion. Thank you so much, Teach, and well done to you, Teach. I know it's been a while. It's been a while you've been practicing this, and you're doing very, very well. So well done to you. Great participation and great moderation.